I am so happy because I love that song. So having the thrill of that walk-on music is really a treat. Good morning. I'm Carol Monroe, Director of Walt Disney World Public Relations. Hope you've enjoyed the past couple of days with us, and we're really pleased that we've managed to keep you dry the entire time. Well, we have an opportunity for a deeper dive on 4 key topics that we've shared with you over the past couple of days, and we have 4 outstanding executives that I'm going to share the stage with for a panel discussion to talk about Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and New Fantasyland, the Festival of Fantasy Parade, Rock Your Disney Side coming this summer, and of course, MyMagic Plus. After the panel, there will be buses to take you back to Magic Kingdom if you care to go there. And after the panel, we're going to even give you a little bit of a more deeper dive because we're going to bring on some more subject matter experts who will populate the room for some one-on-one interview opportunities if you need that as well. And I'll introduce those folks at the end of the panel discussion. So for now, I'd like to introduce our panel. First, her key responsibilities include developing local, regional, and national Walt Disney World marketing strategies, as well as leading resort marketing strategies for our on-site hotels. She also oversees growth strategies for various guest segments, including multicultural audiences. Please welcome Darlene Papalini. He is a 35-year cast member. In March 2009, he was tapped to lead the MyMagic Plus efforts. He was promoted to his current position in 2010 and is now responsible for the strategic direction of Walt Disney World theme parks. Welcome, Jim MacPhee, Senior Vice President, Walt Disney World Parks. Our next panelist and her team have delivered some of Walt Disney World's greatest stage parade and fireworks spectaculars, including the brand new Festival of Fantasy Parade and Celebrate the Magic at the Magic Kingdom. Please welcome Louise, we call her Lou Murray, Vice President, Walt Disney Parks and Resorts Creative Entertainment. And our 4th panelist. Well, he currently leads the creative team in developing the vision and implementation of the Magic Kingdom's new Fantasyland expansion at Walt Disney World Resort. Please welcome Senior Creative Director for Walt Disney Imagineering, Beatty. So let's get started. Well, we just dedicated Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and I hope everyone had a chance to ride it last night. How many of us have ridden Seven Dwarfs Mine Train? Full house? Okay, a few more to go, and that's where we're going to give you some time today to have that experience. So I want to kick it off with a question for Chris. It's the crown jewel of New Fantasyland, and you've got to be thrilled to open this new family coaster. So tell us, what can guests expect when it officially opens later this month?
We believe that we've created what I think is it's a quintessential family thrill ride, and within the Magic Kingdom, and it hits on so many levels. And when we set off on this journey to come up with an attraction that not only told the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but also could bring kinetics and energy to the land and bring it to life, and the centerpiece, become the centerpiece for the land. The focus really was on delivering something that resonated with all ages. And I think many of you have ridden it now. We feel like at Disney we've delivered that we've really delivered something to the Magic Kingdom that hopefully will live forever and be a classic.
You know, also coming this summer and already being enjoyed by our guests is the Festival of Fantasy Parade, and I hope our media guests had an opportunity to see that parade, which, I hate to talk about favorites because I have so many favorites, but I have to tell you, it is just one of my favorites. So, Lou, this next question is for you. We've got the new parade, and we've got 2 of the hottest stars from our animated feature, Frozen. What's the reaction been like to seeing Anna and Elsa in the float in the Festival Fantasy Parade? I'm sure overwhelming for guests.
It is, and I'm so glad you're not asking me to sing Let It Go right now. Just first and foremost, thank you for that. We're thrilled, just like our guests are. We fell in love with them, right? Just the audiences around the world fell in love with Frozen. And when we saw the opportunity to have them join that first float, we were so happy. And you just referred to the Mine Coaster as being classic. I think that in the case of Frozen, we're kind of looking at instant classic, so that's why we feel really good about having them join the other princesses that are there right now. So it just felt really natural, and we're thrilled to have them there.
Very cool. And I've got more questions for you about that parade, which, again, one of my favorites. But now I want to just reflect back over the past year or so. Many of our guests were here when we opened New Fantasyland. And last time we were here for that grand opening, we talked a lot about the evolution of the guest experience. And Jim, this question's for you. How is our guest experience today different from just a year and a half ago?
You know, when you look back at the last year and a half, it's pretty amazing listening to George this morning talk about all the things that have happened just around the corner, both in the past and that which is right in front of us. So from a pure experience perspective, all the things that we've just talked about in this dialogue between New Fantasyland, the Mine Coaster, Anna and Elsa, and all the other things happening, it's really, really great. What we're also really excited about is the transformation of the experience in a new and fantastic way for guests to experience even more of the magic through MyMagic Plus. And as Carol said, a lot of us have been on this journey for a while, and our focus was to make sure that through personalization and customization, guests can enjoy thinking about and planning and experiencing their vacation at any time that they want along the way while they're here. So when you were here last, we were just in the process, I believe, of introducing it to our resort guests, and we spent about 6 months, I think, rolling it out to our resort audience to make sure that we were focusing in on learning and understanding the dynamics of something so new and so innovative. Early this year, we introduced it to our annual pass holders, and ta-da, about 30 days ago or so, we made it available to all guests visiting the Walt Disney World Resort. I hope you'll agree our focus on taking technology and creating that as an underlayer of great Disney experiences that we bring to life through great stories is now even richer, because guests can think about that experience even before they get here on a much more personalized and customized basis. Physically, if you walk into any of our parks, the turnstiles are gone. Those were removed over the last year and a half or so. We have a much more open environment. No longer does the amazing race happen when the rope drop occurs and people run to Fast Pass locations that were decentralized and distributed. So we're very, very excited about how we've evolved. And I would also say, and how we're just getting started in terms of transforming the experience.
So Darlene, it was just a few months ago that we attracted some of the country's most well-known social media all-stars, including a very popular Grumpy Cat.
Yes.
And Grumpy Cat helped us launch Show Your Disney Side. But now for summer, we're saying Rock Your Disney Side. A little bit of a nuance there. Care to explain the change?
Yeah, and it's a real subtle one, quite frankly, because if you think about Disney Side, there's lots of ways to express Disney Side. And so as we were thinking about the summer and all the great product that we have coming out, we're trying to figure out how do we want to express that. And we really got our creative inspiration actually from the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, because obviously it rocks. And we were in the office and we're going to wave rocks, we're rocking, rock your Disney Side. And we just kind of said, you know what, that feels good. It's got great energy, it's got fun in it. That's what it's all about this summer. So we just thought, we'll just rock our Disney Side this summer.
Well,
it was that simple. It was that simple.
Well, and that leads me to a follow-up question. So how can guests rock their Disney Side this summer?
Well, there's a lot of ways, and I don't know, I think many of you maybe were here this morning when George was talking, so let me see if I can list them all, because there's quite a bit. I think the first way to rock your Disney Side would be with the kind of what we say is the start of the summer season, and it's our 24-hour event. We'll have our third annual event this year. It's on May 23rd, starts at 6 a.m. at the Magic Kingdom. We're also doing this out at Disneyland Park and at Disney California Adventure. And it's just a fun 24 hours where our guests come in. There's lots of new entertainment activities. I don't know if you want to say anything about that, Lou. But this year what's really fun is that we are inviting our guests to come in and to dress like their favorite Disney hero or their favorite Disney villain, which will be a lot of fun. And I think there's just some fun things that we're going to do with that in the Magic Kingdom. So that kind of sets the tone. And then to rocking your Disney side to the Magic Kingdom, if you're in the Magic Kingdom and you feel like rocking your Disney side, we've obviously got the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. We have the Festival of Fantasy Parade, which Lou was just talking about. We have the Princess Fairy Tale Hall with the new home of Elsa and Anna. If you're more about maybe indulging your Disney side, maybe that's what you want to show this summer. And again, you can show one side, you can show all the sides, whatever you want to do. We've got some great evening activities that we've added over at Epcot with the Illumination Sparkling Dessert Party with some incredibly decadent desserts. And I have to tell you that Lou and Jim and I were in a meeting, do you remember, a couple of weeks ago? And they brought in a couple of the desserts that they're offering at this party. And I have never been, in all my years at Disney, in a meeting so silent because everyone was eating. No one was talking. It was that good. So we've got that going on at Epcot. We've also got our after hours party. If that's not enough and you want some more partying, you can stay extra hours in the evening at Epcot and enjoy some terrific culinary favorites, along with some beverage pairings. If it's your intergalactic side that you want to show, might suggest that you head over to Disney Hollywood Studios, where it's all about Star Wars and Star Wars weekends, which we've extended to 5 weekends starting in May. And we've got some great character dining opportunities with our characters and the Star Wars characters at breakfast and at dinner. And then, of course, if thrills is your thing, we've got Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror. And then if it's the wild side that you want to show, or your adventurous side this year, I might suggest that you head over to Disney's Animal Kingdom, where we've got obviously Kilimanjaro Safari and Expedition Everest, as well as the return of the Festival of the Lion King, which we're very excited about, back in its new home in Harambe Theater. And then, as George mentioned this morning, one of the things we're super excited about is finally, for the first time, having a ticket experience, a special event in the nighttime over at Animal Kingdom called Harambe Nights. And it's an incredible party, kind of a dazzling theatrical production. I don't know, Lou, if you want to talk a little bit about it, combined with kind of a Harambe party and gourmet dining. It's just a fabulous, I don't know if you want
Totally,
to
and it's
talk
one
a
of
little bit more
those
about it.
what-if moments, right?
Yeah.
What if we were given access to Animal Kingdom at night? What would we do? And we've got this brand new theater that is looking so awesome, and we said, what a great way to immerse our guests in an amazing experience. Now, we'll need even, I mean, we're already offering a whole lot with that, but if we add an orchestra and choir and amazing talent to come in and help us to narrate Simba's journey, we're going to hit it all in the park. I mean, all of us fell in love with that too.
Yeah, that was
a great
one that we
meeting.
all did too, and a great meeting too. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well,
So hopefully that's enough to rock your Disney
yeah,
side.
I think it's already May 23rd.
There's a lot, I know.
Yeah, I'm
June 7th.
ready to jump in. Well, you know, with all of that going on, I can imagine that MyMagic Plus and my Disney experience will be quite the things to help our guests make the most of their Walt Disney World vacation this summer. So, and it's described as a program where guests can design the vacation they really want. So tell us, what does this really mean? Especially coming up with such a big summer for our guests to really
Well, I think,
feel the essence
I
of
hope you'll all
MyMagic
agree
Plus.
that a Walt Disney World vacation experience was pretty stellar, and is pretty stellar today, each and every day. And what we wanted to do was take as much anxiety out of the day of experience as possible, and we felt as though if we were to take a look at the great experiences that we have and match them with the consumer trends that are in place that in our lives each and every day, about real-time information, instant gratification, wanting something the way we want it, when we want it, the notion of creating the opportunity to pre-arrival engage even before guests get here. In fact, as they're sitting in their living rooms with their family and start to think about what they want to do, how they want to do it, and when they want to do it. Those were the principal tenets of what MyMagic Plus was all about. And we've seen an extraordinary improvement that we hear from our guests on their experience. Many of our guests say that their Disney vacation is better having had the opportunity to engage in MyMagic Plus now, because again, the shotgun start at 9 a.m. rope drop is a little bit less pressure, as you're thinking about it, and families are enjoying the parks more and more together and in a much more immersive way. So, I'll give you an example. This morning, as you all know, we announced the opening of the Mine Coaster on May 28th, and it is working its way through the My Disney Experience website and apps. It's on the website right now, and I think we've had over 50,000 signups, if you will, for Beyond.
We got hand raisers. Look at her. You were the ones.
All right, great. So I think that's great, and I think, again, if you're into the pre-arrival engagement, or if you just like to walk in the park and experience it on your own, we're very focused on making sure MyMagic Plus is about your choice and the choice of our guests. And that is the tenets of what our experience has always been, just taken to a whole new level through MyMagic Plus.
So lots of opportunities to create new memories this summer. And then speaking of new memories, capturing those memories, there's a Memory Maker feature as well.
Right.
Can you tell us
Memory
about
Maker
that?
is a very, very powerful component or element of MyMagic Plus. Many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with PhotoPass, and PhotoPass has been an extraordinary introduction of the opportunity to capture vacation experiences digital. Memory Maker is the next evolution of that, and does have the opportunity to engage either before they get here or once they're here on site in Memory Maker itself. It is an all-in-one capture of every photo, every picture that was taken throughout the vacation experience. And I don't know about you all, but I kind of like to be in the picture sometimes as opposed to being the one holding the camera. So Memory Maker allows me to do that with my family. So we're excited about Memory Maker because it really bundles everything together for the guests to be able to have a great experience while they're here, and more importantly, savor it when they return home by having access digitally to all the photos that were taken along the way. So Memory Maker is out of the gate strong, and a really important element of just that savoring of a Disney vacation experience.
And speaking of out of the gate strong, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So thanks for that little news update. But in addition, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was named one of the top coasters of 2014. And it hasn't even officially opened yet. How about that, Chris? So tell us. Yeah, you're rocking it. So what sets Mine Train apart? What do you think the perception is that sets Mine Train apart?
Yeah, I think it's what Disney, like I said, it's sort of what we do best, and it's create family experiences that really resonate with everyone. I think with Mine Train, it's the combination of an amazing coaster experience and how we brought that to life, and it's also an amazing dark ride at the same time. We broke ground in a couple of really unique ways. And one's the dwarves. They're amazing. Many of you have been through the mine. I think we've set the bar now for animated figures in our dark rides, and they are spectacular. Amazing partnership with feature animation. And believe it or not, Lumiere kind of played an important role in bringing them to life, because a lot of the challenges that we had as Imagineers and storytellers with Lumiere and making a little 12-inch candlestick be able to talk to you for 12 minutes, 15 minutes, that was quite a challenge. But being able to bring his personality to life and the technology to do that really aided us in advancing the dwarves and using leveraging that technology to bring them to life. And feature animation, we're great partners with them, because it's really one of the first times that you're seeing the real animation of the animator, their hand brought to life. And Lumiere was really sort of that half step to get us there. That was exciting. And then the coaster and the technology that went behind the coaster. And it's funny, a lot of times, we talk about technology and how incredible it is. A lot of times it starts out very, very simple. I remember the first time we came up with the idea for making the bucket swing, and we'd watched the film several times, and we were trying to figure out, well, what do we want the experience to be? What do we want to do? And the little deer pulling the bucket and it was swinging. We said, well, that would be great. A journey through the mine with the dwarves. And our ride team goes, great, we'll mock that up for you. And then a week later, I get this phone call, and they said, can you guys come out to the parking lot? Now, back in California, we have a parking lot that we do mock-ups in. And this parking lot is right next to the train, the Metro link. And so the train goes by especially at 9 o'clock in the morning, the train goes by like every 10 minutes. And so we walk up to the parking lot, and they have this card, plywood box, not a cardboard box, but it felt like cardboard. A plywood box, and it was ratchet strapped to the back of a pickup truck. And they're like, well, get in. And I'm like, in the box. And they're like, oh yeah, it's safe, get in, don't worry about it. And so if you really look at the video that we launched at D23, there's a short snippet of us riding around in this plywood bucket and on the back of a flatbed pickup truck. And the funniest thing about it is the people going by on the Metrolink at 9 a.m. because they're going by out the window like this, like, who are these idiots riding around in a plywood box at 30 miles an hour in a parking lot? So sometimes it was high-tech, technology-driven thing. It's a marvel. Starts out in a very small, sort of basic, in a basic way. And so that's one of my favorite parts of this project. One of my favorite memories was sort of that morning. By the way, I mean, we spent a lot of time in that plywood box, and we learned a lot. And it really did help inform the ride that you all took over the past 24 hours. So it's exciting. It's a couple things really set it apart as unique and different, and the jewel of the Magic Kingdom.
I have to give, Chris is a humble guy, so I have to give him a lot of credit and really applaud him and all of the Walt Disney Imagineers, because truly it's one thing to build a ride and to build a great ride, but to take a ride and a concept like that and integrate it to a rich Disney story like Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. As George said, Snow White and Seven Dwarfs is one of the most impactful experiences that happened in the evolution of the Walt Disney Company in 1938. And to know that it now has come to life in the most popular land in our most popular theme park and is rich and immersive in stories, it was really the relentless pursuit of Disney excellence. And Chris led that, and our Walt Disney Imagineers really focused in on bringing it to life as only Disney could do. And it's amazing. I was a bit in awe last night, having ridden it in the afternoon again, and walking around and just seeing no walls around, and as you round the corner from Cinderella's castle or Fantasyland to see the beautiful meadows up on the top of the mountain, it's just stunning. And we take a lot of pride in our attention to detail, and more pride in how we connect stories and bring stories to life through innovation and creativity. And I think, this ride system that Chris and the team, rode in a plywood box on years ago, coming to life now and, delighting you all, I hope, and millions of guests soon to come, is a powerful statement to our commitment to quality and our commitment to excellence. And I do applaud Chris and the Walt Disney Imagineers for being integral in that for New Fantasyland overall.
We've talked about storytelling, and we think about Seven Dwarfs, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and just the nostalgia of that and the meaning of that story to our company. So in the storytelling vein, are there any fun carryovers? Because this isn't the first Snow White attraction in the Magic Kingdom. And for all of our Disney files, I thought I'd ask this question. Are there any fun carryovers from the earlier Snow White Scary Adventure that we might notice?
Yeah, of course. I mean, as many of you know from some of the other aspects of New Fantasyland, we love our guests and we love our fans, and especially we as Imagineers, we're the biggest fans. And so anytime that we get an opportunity, especially in Fantasyland, which has just been a dream project for not just myself, but for the entire Imagineering team. Of course, we try to carry over those little moments and those pieces that make it sentimental for our guests. The mine is completely new, but if you at the end of maybe ridden at the end of the ride and the attraction, we pull up next to the cottage. Some of the figures that are in there were brought over from the original attraction. So we wanted to make sure there were some little nostalgic pieces that we placed and hid in little nooks and crannies. It was also important to us, I know it was a big concern, I think, early on in design, that we didn't forget about Snow White. It is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. She is the star of the movie. And so, but we also wanted to focus on the dwarves and how, let us go into a part of that film that we never really got to explore in a physical way in the original attraction. So, we thought it was important to have snow. And then the biggest question we kept seeing asked, or the biggest question I was being asked was, well, it has to be the witch. The witch has to be there, right? And once again, probably one of my favorite parts of the ride at the end as you pass by is the witch. I think she's great. She's got a great personality. And the fact that she's kind of peeking in the window with a little basket of apples, a little foreshadowing moment, it's great. It's great.
That was really a nice touch and a surprising touch because you don't expect to see it, and it's really cool. So, Lou, I've got a couple questions for you. The scale of the parade floats, it's just amazing. Why was size of the floats such an important thing in the creative development of Festival of Fantasy Parade?
Well, working together alongside with Chris and his team, Stephen Davison for us was also being inspired by your work and going into Magic Kingdom. What we wanted to do was to make sure that we would occupy the space to tell the story. We're storytellers, right? So each and every one of those floats are making sure that everyone gets to see, but gets to see so much more details about all the different stories. And what we're seeing is that our guests are coming back for more and coming back for more because there is so much to see. And they see it from a different side of the street, or they see it from a different angle because, oh my God, I want to see it so much. And we were totally inspired by New Fantasyland. And when we think of the dragon, see, so all of us working together, we're able to come up not only with those great ideas, but creating those experiences that were compelling for our guests and really making them feel part of New Fantasyland and just about everywhere else too. So that was our biggest concern and what we wanted to address with them.
And you accomplished a few firsts with Festival of Fantasy as well. Tell us about those.
How many of you have seen the parade, so that I know? So you're seeing, first you saw the scale, right? So it's like, wow. You're seeing a bunch of kinetics in those floats. The Rapunzel float with them playing like this is so beautiful, but also very inspiring. And you can see that you've got little guys on the street saying, I want to do this, I want to do this. You're also seeing that the floats are coming down the street at a good pace. And we're able to do that with the technology of our batteries. We're looking for a very efficient and clean source of energy. And we're thrilled to be able to achieve that with the work from everybody. So we're thrilled.
Very cool, very cool. Well, you know, I've seen people, lots of people taking selfies of themselves with Festival of Fantasy
Yes.
in the background. So,
Yes.
you know, and you think about the impact that social media has had not only in sharing memories in new ways, in very personal ways, but it's been a really integral part of the Show Your Disney Side to Rock Your Disney Side campaign. Can you talk a little bit about the role of social media?
It's really amazed us, and I think really that's the next to coming into the parks where we see our guests display their Disney side in ways sometimes we've never realized that we would see, but very creative. The other way really is in the social media. That's where you can really see Disney side come to life, and it's been incredible to watch how creative our guests can become in terms of engaging with it. And so all of the social partners, it's been unprecedented. Actually, we've been quite surprised in the last year since we launched with Grumpy Cat and everything else in that time period, in terms of Disney side content, and our consumers just and our guests engaging in it, or reading about it or whatever. We've had more than 25 million on Facebook, I think 7 million on Vine with their various Vine videos. We've had, I think there are now almost 12 million different YouTube Disney side videos that are out there, some generated by us, most generated by guests, and those are highly viewed. Even the Disney Parks blog, I think we've broke records in terms of reaching more than 25 million users, and I think it's something like, I want to say something like 19 million page views or whatever. So Instagram, Twitter, I mean, it's gone through the roof for us, and we are so enjoying it. And as I say, it's quite creative what people can come up with. And I think some of the inspiration is everything that we have in the parks, that they're able to do it. And actually, they do it sometimes better than we could do it ourselves. So it's been wonderful. We've really enjoyed that.
Well, I have a final question for each of you, and then we will introduce our subject matter experts who will join us around the room so that our media who have one-on-one questions will have that opportunity as well. So final question for each of you. And Darlene, I'll start with you. As Vice President of Marketing Strategy for Walt Disney World, you know, we've talked about Rock Your Disney Side, and we've talked about the theme parks, but there's even more going on outside of the theme parks. Downtown Disney, for instance. Can you tell us what to expect at Downtown Disney? I know many who have traversed the Walt Disney World property this week have seen there's lots of construction as we prepare for Disney Springs. That's really exciting news in the future, but there's exciting news happening now in time for summer.
I mean, there's a lot of transformation going on as we go from downtown Disney into Disney Springs. And as George is opening the first phase of that with the landings early next year. But there's a lot happening this summer, some really cool stuff happening this summer there as well. First and foremost, and I think this is why Carol asked it, because it's near and dear to my heart, there is a full-service Starbucks coming into the west side of downtown Disney, yes.
And we only have a few more minutes for
Yeah,
this.
I know you guys love that. There's also a kiosk that's going to be coming over by World of Disney.
It is important.
I know, it's our priorities up here. And then another thing that's really interesting that's coming to what used to be the Team Disney area down there, it's going to be called Marketplace Co-op. And it's a collection of 6 boutiques that are coming in with a variety of different kinds of merchandise. So it's sportswear, it's electronics, girls wear, I think that's in there, some women's accessories, different kinds of things. That'll be really interesting and unique. And then just in time for World Cup, we have a soccer store going into downtown Disney. So there really is, even though you see construction walls, there are things that are going down there, which is really cool, yeah.
Okay, so my question for Jim, with everything we've talked about concerning MyMagic Plus and our guests enjoying it and the popularity of it, is it complete with everything you plan to roll out?
Oh, not at all. We are, as we've said, just getting started. We wanted to get to a place where we could take the Parks and Resorts experience and all of our property here at Walt Disney World to the starting line of personalization and customization. And we are excited about the things that are on the horizon for us to go and do. It's like anything that's as monumental as this, you have to pick a starting point. And we're very, very pleased with the results of how we've launched now with MyMagic Plus up to this point. But we're also excited about what it will unveil for us to continue to evolve great experiences that are extremely personalized and customized based on guest choice along the way. So, we'll be introducing things as we discover them. This isn't now another march toward a big ribbon cutting ceremony and an opening day. I mean, if you look at the evolution of FastPass Plus in just the first 30 days and our ability to add more and to add park hopping, we want to continue to evolve in a very real-time basis based on the feedback that we're getting. So it is a bit of a change in our strategy to be able to think about constant and relentless change on making it great at every turn, but we're excited about it because it will really unveil a lot of great opportunities as we continue to move forward.
And so, Lou, my last question for you, and we could talk for, much more, but I do want to allow for the second part of our session this morning. Our guests really love meeting and seeing the characters, and it was pretty cool seeing the visual during George's presentation of our 140 character tweet. So tell us a little bit about some of the ways that character experiences have been enhanced over the years.
We've been working so closely with Chris.
Great partnership.
Great partnership.
It's just probably been stronger than ever. And to be honest with you, I mean, we were starting to really kind of still think.
No, this is exactly why. This is exactly why we're doing this.
But we really have broken. I think there is no divide. I mean, we are one Disney. We are one team. And I think we put out a stronger front when we work together with Blue and her team. Absolutely.
I mean, alone, as I say, alone we can go faster, but together we go further. And I think that when you look at what we were able to accomplish with Princess Fairy Tale Hall,
Shannon tells with Belle, that's the
It's
perfect
exactly-
example of a collaboration that was not just Imagineering in California. That was a team effort between both, just equal between both partners.
and from all over the world too. So we're able to tap into these talents, and what we're seeing is the impact it has on our own teams. We're seeing it with the guests. I mean, it's translating to that energy level that they get to enjoy it and really experience it. Just like we get to do it up funnel, which is, that's why it's so natural, and that's why we get to answer each other's questions.
Well, maybe you can help Chris answer his last question. So now that we have our crown jewel, we've got our crown jewel of New Fantasyland, and don't know if it will ever be complete. I love that quote from Walt, but absolutely the crown jewel. As you look back on the past year and a half, have there been any surprises to how our guests have reacted to New Fantasyland, or what has turned out to be a fan favorite that you didn't really anticipate?
I believe a number of things. I would say, to start with, I think what we as Imagineers are most proud of, and this is, once again, Jim kind of gave us kudos, and I'm giving it back to Jim and our leadership team. I have been amazed that from Tom Staggs down, the leadership and their willingness to really let Imagineering push the boundaries of the guest experience. And I think it shows in New Fantasyland. It shows, I take pride, and I'll tell you, if you ask anyone on our team, what we take great pride in the New Fantasyland, it really is that we've tried something different in every attraction. And if you think about it, from the queue at Dumbo, the new queue lounge, and the new way to experience, doing away with the line, right? Let you go and play, and then you out and have that experience. Winnie the Pooh, wait a little, play a little. Play while you wait. Then you're all of a sudden, before you know it, you're on the ride. To a brand new mine train that has a swinging bucket and state-of-the-art dwarves that have been brought to life in a brand new, unique way. So Enchanted Tales with Belle. Belle, to me, is probably the answer to your question, which is, we knew we were onto something unique and different. And we knew from your first play test, and by the way, that's a huge leap to approach Jim and his team and go, we want to throw out we want to throw out the thinking of a meet and greet. Completely throw it out. And we want to deliver on that experience that every guest expects. That when they come to our park, there's that connection, that personalization moment with that character. There's that moment where they feel that there's no one else in the room. That is the driver for that experience. And we went to Jim and the team and said, can we shake it up? How do we do this differently? And I think we knew we were on to something early, and Lou's team quickly came on board. We worked together. We crafted it. We play tested it. And I tell you, right out of the gate, the play test were some of the most successful play tests we've ever had in the history of our company. We knew that it resonated throughout with all ages. Even though it's meeting Belle, there's something for fathers, for mothers, for teenagers. It's funny. It's got heart. It's charming. It's a different show. Every time we come back, I think at the end of this project, I look back and I take pride probably in that attraction most of all. And Mine Train is great. Go ride it. Love it. It's fantastic, of course. But I think what we do is story at its heart. And I love standing. I've stood at the end of that attraction and I've cried. And I don't even know the kids. They're not even our children, right? But you have those moments, right? And that's for us as storytellers, as Disney. That's what we're all about. Story and heart. And I take great pride in that attraction. I take pride in all our attractions. But that was probably the one I say, to me, the end of this long 5-year journey. I look back and say, that's who we are.
Well, Chris, I remember the last moderated panel that I hosted with you, and there was a moment where I think we all got a little bit weepy, and you just created that moment for me, talking about New Fantasyland. I want to thank you all. It's been fun. It's been fun. We can talk for much longer. We absolutely